Hello and welcome to Kristi's Cropping and Creating. My name is Kristi Bolin. I am a Creative Memories advisor in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Last week was my first week back after several months of not being able to record. And so I'm hoping to stay ahead of the game and get some things recorded and posted on a consistent basis. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel so that I can reach more people. Last week I talked about the 101 scrapbooking ideas and sketchbook. It's also got 3 fast formulas. This was a gift last year during our birthday bash. So I wanted to show you this as a reminder, and then you can go watch last week's video. I did take 2 different ideas from this sketchbook, and I showed how quickly and easily you could put together those ideas. And they're just really very simple but effective, eye-catching page ideas. Last week also I had some technical difficulties. I had thought I was sharing my screen where you could see my face while I was talking, and then I was just switching down to my hands later, but apparently something didn't work right, and I decided this week I wasn't even gonna try it. So that's why you're only seeing my hands this week, and well, which that's what you did last week too. But I'm just not even gonna try to switch between this week since it takes a little bit of extra time anyway, and y'all don't necessarily need to see me. Last week, I also talked about this week for the birthday bash. We have 52 scrapbooking project recipes. This is again a gift with a qualifying order of $100 or more on my website. I'll talk about my website in just a moment. This was supposed to have already ended, but they did extend it through this coming Friday, which I believe will be October 18th. It will end at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm in the Eastern time zone, so I usually just go ahead and translate it to that. If you do miss out because it sells out or something like that, reach out to me. I should have a couple of extra. I do still have 1 or 2 extras of this one as well. They retail for $20, but again, you can get one with a qualifying order. I was really excited to see this one. I'm not actually going to use it in this week's idea, but I do have a really quick idea to show you again. But I was so excited because I just opened my box a few minutes ago that had this in it, and so I wanted to show you what it looks like, and I'll flip and show you a few of the pages really quick. It looks like, okay, yeah, so it's numbered. They number the project recipe up at the top. Of course, the pages are still numbered as well, but it shows you the project recipe. It shows you what the layout will look like once you make the cuts. So this is like the equivalent of the grayscale that you see on a lot of our sketches. And this is using the 3 pieces of paper that it takes to create this. This shows you where those cuts go. And speaking of which, this right here, that means that that part of the paper is not used. So you don't necessarily use 3 full sheets of paper in making the various project recipes. Some of them you will use more than others. But this is going to be a really great thing. Oh, and look, here's another feature. Up here in this corner, it shows that this project recipe will work with 6 photos. So that was something that they had done in our previous book as well. So it'll tell you at the top how many photos the project recipe will work with. So hurry up and get your orders in so you don't miss out. It also comes with a pack of embellishments, but quite honestly, I forgot to get those out of my box. I didn't finish unboxing my order. I was so excited to just come and start taping. So today, I want to show you, you've probably seen before hollowing out a page, you know, cutting the center square out. And today I want to show you a that same idea, but I'm gonna step it up a notch or so by doing it twice. I saw this as I was flipping through some pages the other day, and I really liked the effect that it had because it just really just like was bam. You know, you've got all these colors from the edges of the page, and so I wanted to try that. And in doing so, I am going to use this advisor exclusive paper pack. We do get these quarterly, and so advisors use them different ways. Sometimes we use them as a gift for coming to an event. Sometimes we do it as a gift with purchase. So you'll need to reach out to your own advisor if you have one or if you are one, and then just find out about getting your own advisor exclusive paper pack. If you don't have an advisor, I would love to help you. I said a while ago I was going to mention my website. So you're watching Kristi's Cropping and Creating. Again, thank you for doing so. My website is creativememories.com/user/KRISTIBOLIN. And if you do need to email me for any reason, you can reach me at kristibolin@gmail.com. And that's KRISTIBOLIN@gmail.com. I do teach a weekly class on Wednesday evenings. It's recorded, so if you can't watch it live, you can watch it at your convenience. But if you want to email me and ask about joining that group, you can, when you email me, put in the subject or the body of the email that you're interested in Kristi's Kroppers subscription group. I would love to have you as part of our group, and we have fun and everything. So this paper pack is what I want to use to create the layout today. You know what? I just realized I forgot to get out my paper. So not my designer paper, but my background paper. So I'm gonna finish telling you about this and show you the idea. And I do have a few photo mats laid out on this, but keep in mind you don't have to use it the way I have my photo holders laid out. You could use it with a 5x7, an 8x10, or other sizes of photos than what I have placed on my layout already. So this is what we're going to do. So I did trim down my designer paper so that I could still see the background around the edge. That was one of the things that I saw on the idea the other day, rather than just hollowing out the center. There was also an outer edge. And then the other thing, see this extra square right here that is also hollowed out? So this Island Waters cardstock is the base of the page, the background of the page. But I loved how you've got the Island Waters on the outside, the Island Waters on the inside, and then you've got two different designer papers of hollow squares that are just helping you to focus in on your photos. Again, I put two 4x6s and a 4x4. I felt like you could put a title here. Of course, you could put embellishments anywhere. A title could even go somewhere along through here. And I could have just done three 4x4s, and I'm not going to be able to, since they're stuck down, I won't be able to show you the difference. But you know, you could just place things other ways. And then this could also be turned into a double page spread very easily. And in doing that, you could flip this outside edge. It could be this color instead on the opposite page, or you could do it the same, you know, more like a mirror image. So this is what we're going to create. It's going to be really fun, really fast, and we will work on it in just a moment. One of the things that I didn't mention a few minutes ago is that The other great thing about this layout is that when you've got a really busy paper like this, it will help tone it down, but it'll still give you the awesomeness of this design. Obviously, if you put several photo mats on a very busy paper, it also helps tone it down. But I love it that when you have just the outer square like you're going to have with the layout that we finish, it also helps tone it down and it's just quick and easy. So why not? Now I've already made my 12 by 12 piece of paper. I wanted this thin margin, just an eighth of an inch on either side. So I've already cut a 1/4 inch off of one side and a 1/4 inch off of the other side so that now my paper is 11 3/4 inch square and it'll fit inside my 12 by 12 cardstock with the thin margin. That's the same measurements that I used for this one as well. If you want your margin to be thicker and you see more of the background, you can certainly do that. You know, cut a 1/2 of an inch off of two sides or whatever. But now we're going to move to the next part, and that is hollowing out my square. So I want my outer square that is hollow to be to have a 1 1/2 inch opening. So I'm going to put my paper at 1 1/2 inches, and just a little trick that I like to use is to put my clips so that I cannot cut higher or lower than where I actually want to cut. The housing blade, most of you know this, but just in case you don't, the blade housing is 2 inches and it starts cutting halfway between right there where that white mark is. So that's the 1 inch mark. So if I put my clip at a 1/2 inch and then at 11 1/2 inches down here, it's not going to start cutting until 1 1/2 at the top and it'll stop cutting at 10 1/2 at the bottom. So again, I've just chosen to have the width of a 1 1/2 inch opening, but you can make it smaller and you can make it larger. That's completely up to you. I think I moved that one ever so slightly when I was pushing just now. So let me make sure I'm okay. And then when you get that second cut, if you want to make sure it's cut all the way through before you move it, you can do that. Sometimes I remember to do it and sometimes I don't. And honestly, it's just to double check my work when I do actually check it to see if it cut through all the way. Just 3 of my 4 sides. And here comes the last one. You don't have to choose papers with a significant contrast to make this idea that I'm showing you today, but I do think that it's neat when you do have a contrast. So this paper, the prairie paper, painted prairie paper that I showed you as my sample, that's not a huge contrast because I've got this peachy color in the striped paper, and then it's also that peachy coral paper in the inner square. This next one, the one I'm going to show you now, is a little bit more of a contrast. It's still one of the colors that's in this very busy paper, but you see how it's just a dark blue background and then it's got the squiggles. So this is basically what it's going to look like when we're ready to go. But instead of just placing this inside here to finish this, remember we want to hollow out this square as well. So this time I'm going to make my cut at 3/4 inches. That's the same width as this one. I'm just choosing that number, honestly, just kind of off the top of my head. Now, obviously, 3/4 inch is half of 1 1/2 inches, but you don't have to be quite so matchy-matchy, I guess you could say. The other thing is, it's a little bit harder to figure out where to put your clips for the 3/4 inch because you've got, the even number of this cutting to 1 inch, but now you're going to be doing it 3/4. So let me think for just a second. I believe what I need to do is put this at, I think I'm going to put it at 11 3/4, but I might be wrong. No, 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 no. Let me think for just a second. I know I can figure this out. I figured it out a while ago. So my top clip is going to go 1/4 inch above my 0, and my bottom clip, it depends on how long your paper is, but you want it to be 1 inch from where it's going to stop. So since I want it to stop at, well, my paper is it's an 8 3/4 inch square. So instead of it ending at 8 3/4, I'm going to put it at 9 so that it'll stop cutting at the 8. That's probably not very clear the way I just explained that, but my clip is at the 9 because I want it to stop cutting at 8 because I want a 1/2 inch, no, a 3/4 inch border, and my paper is 8 3/4. So hopefully I just said that correct, and hopefully I've got my marks at the right place, and this is going to turn out correctly. Again, I'm placing it at 3/4 inches here. I'm just making sure it's straight all the way down. I've got my clips to where I can't go any further. And yes, this is working. Yay! So because I'm talking, this is taking a little bit of extra time, but as you can see, it's going to be a really quick page because all I'm doing is making my background paper a little bit smaller than the the base page, and then I am hollowing out my first paper, my first designer paper. Then I'm hollowing out my second designer paper. You don't even have to use the background of that. I just am. This is left over. I can use it on another project. It would be great to use on a second page if I was turning this into a double page spread. But for now, I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm going to close my trimmer, put it to the side, and we are going to adhere this. Now, I do love using repositionable adhesive. You don't have to, but I certainly love it because it is very forgiving. It is still a permanent adhesive. It will hold things really well. And I'm just going to go around the edge in several places. Some people use more, some people use less. I love using my 13-inch mat to to help me get things straight, and that's why I'm putting my cardstock here in the center, and then I will take this and come back over, and remember I have an 1/8 inch that is going to show on all sides of the background cardstock, so I can use those lines on my mat to help me get that straight. And then, like I said too, since I used repositionable adhesive, if I don't get it completely straight, I can always go back and fix it. All right, so there's that part. This will come in here like this to fill the center. And I guess if you wanted these squiggles to go the opposite direction, you could certainly turn it that way. I don't. I want them to go horizontal the way it is on the back of the paper to begin with, or that's the way it's shown in the picture of this paper pack. So I'm going to stuff this in here. Again, I'm using Repo, so it will let me fix it if I don't quite get it straight. I'm not sure why okay, there we go. I started to say I'm not sure why I'm having a hard time, but I think whoops, nope, I didn't quite get it. Got to fix this little line right here. It went a little crooked and that was not wanting to fill that spot well. And if you do have a little bubble of some sort, you can fix it as you need to. And then here are my photo mats. I liked on my sample, I liked having the 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 Island Waters background showing right here. So I wanted all of this to be matted. I did that top one. I did the top one where I had this one so that it was centered between the two, but you certainly don't have to do it that way. You don't have to put this one to where you see the side. As a matter of fact, obviously, you don't even have to use those sizes at all. I'm going to see if I can grab some more 4x4s real quick. And then there's also one other thing I wanted to grab. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So this mat is 4.5 by 6.5. I don't have a 5x7 mat cut. And then obviously if I turn this, it's not going to quite be going the right direction. But just imagine if you had a special picture that you wanted to focus on that is larger, you certainly could, since this is a 1/2 inch smaller, but going both ways than a 5x7. But you could even do a 5x7 or a 4.5 by 6.5 with two 4x4s and make it fit the way you want it to fit. So just some different ideas, and I hope that y'all enjoyed watching today and learned something new, because I don't think I'd really thought about hollowing out the square a second time. And if you have any questions or if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me at my email address that I mentioned earlier. If you don't already have an advisor that you shop with, I would love to help you. If you want to place an order on my website, and then also there is a wonderful advisor join opportunity. We have a great power project folder that I'm not calling it the right thing. It's called something like that, but it's this great thing that will help you take your papers, and it could even hold an album if you wanted it to, when you're going to events or when you are going to a crop somewhere else. It doesn't have to be a weekend retreat, but it could just be a crop. And it also provides great storage for when you are at home. Mine is way across the room and I don't want to stop to go grab it right now. That's why I'm not showing it to you right now, but maybe I'll remember to grab that for next time. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like, and don't forget to place your qualifying orders so you get this and the bonus embellishment birthday bash pack as well. Take care, and I hope to see you next time. Happy cropping!